Hello and welcome to the video. Today I wanted to try out a method that was suggested to me in one of the comments of my previous videos when I tried doing Slapchop. The viewer recommended that instead of using the usual black, gray, and white, that I should actually use colors for putting down the bases. So I thought, what the heck, it would be a good excuse to get some of these miniatures painted up from God tier. It's like a big ogre looking guy and these three little frog men. And I thought, hey, it might be fun, and I was kind of curious to see if it would work. So the three colors that I chose was a dark purple, olive drab, and yellow. I thought that the purple would be a nice dark color, maybe more of a cool color to show in the shade or the shadows of the miniature. And I was pretty happy with how dark it was when it went on top of the black. I really enjoy trying these different techniques. I actually appreciate it when somebody comments or leaves a comment suggesting to try it a different way, because Lord knows I have plenty of miniatures to try these things out on, and these God tier miniatures are fantastic. I love the sculpts on these, and I know this is probably going to shock everybody, but this is another game that I haven't played yet. I bought it because I saw some of the miniatures and just thought that they would be really fun to paint. I mean, the game looks really cool, and I plan on playing it someday. It's a very small squad-based skirmish type game, but I gotta say, I'm a sucker for a good miniature. So, as you can see here, I'm just continuing on with adding the purple to all the miniatures. And now I'm gonna start adding a dry brush highlight of the olive drab. This color actually looked a lot different doing a dry brush than it did in the bottle, but still, I'm happy with it. It's not a pure white or anything like that. I guess it kind of goes almost like a gray would. It wasn't quite as green as I was looking for, but it's still doing the job. And with these God tier units, I have three other ones already painted up, and as I said, they came out fantastic with a good paint job on them. And I think I have about 3 or 4 more units that need painted up. But I keep putting them off because, as I said, I haven't played the game yet, and I think I'm going to keep them for trying out these different techniques. And I've been having a lot of fun trying out all these different styles of painting that normally I don't do. I don't usually, or I never did in all my years of painting. I kind of painted the same way all the time. So it's been really fun, and actually I believe it's made me a better painter by trying out these different techniques. And I would even dare say that since I've started making YouTube videos and pushing myself with trying out different things, that I've improved quite a bit. It's really been enjoyable, and I'm glad that I did it. And with saying that, I mean, I would highly encourage anybody else to give these a shot. You know, it may not be exactly what you're looking for, but you never know how they're going to come out. I've been really happy with most of the results. There's only a few things. Well, I should say, each time that you do something different like this, you're going to learn something new. So you know for next time when you do it, what to watch out for and what you can improve on. I would say not a project goes by that I don't mess something up, but it's always a good opportunity to learn from it. And for the final highlight, I'm coming in with my yellow. And with this, I'm just hitting the highest parts on the model where the light is going to hit it the most. After I was done with this, I maybe should have used a little bit brighter color. I should have maybe mixed in a little bit more white with this yellow. But again, I just wanted to experiment and see what I could do with just using colors as originally suggested. And I'm just doing the same thing on the little frogmen as well, just hitting the highest points. And with our guys all dry brushed and ready to go, I'm going to start putting the speed paint on. And for this, I'm using Malignant Green speed paints from Army Painter. And speed paints are always really nice to use on these miniatures, just it flows so well and it covers so good in one coat. I can understand why they're so popular. And it's easy to see why a lot of people are using these to get good results really quickly with only a few coats of paint. I can totally understand that. And with this, I'm just putting on a nice decent layer over almost all of the miniature, at least all over the skin. I'm not going so much on the loincloth and the bandages, as I'm gonna paint those up differently here. And of course, his little frog buddies are getting the same treatment. Just a nice layer of speed paints over all of the model here. Now at this point, I'm gonna let this dry really well, and then I'm just gonna come in and start detailing the rest of the miniature. And as you can see here, I've done this 1,000 times. This is my usual style of painting now, with doing the details. And I figure instead of explaining each step that I'm doing here, you can kind of see it as I'm going along. And I don't think you need it explained to you that, I'm painting the teeth white and I'm painting the hair black. So I'm just going to kind of, in general, talk about what's happening and any other random thoughts that pop into my little head. The only thing on this miniature that I wasn't a huge fan of was the sculpting of the mouth. No matter how much I worked on it and tried to paint it, I couldn't really get the teeth to look right. I mean, the gums and the open mouth, the teeth were kind of really weird in there for me. But I did what I could, and I mean, at the end, they came out just fine. And painting these little frog guys, their heads and their mouths almost look like, it reminded me of little watermelons. Like, especially painting the mouth red and their head being green, it looked like somebody had started to split open a watermelon, which I thought was kind of funny. And I really like the sculpts on the little guys. I think that they're really neat looking. They make little cool henchmen. And they were fun to paint. I like painting these little kind of wacky miniatures like this. I find them really interesting, and you can just kind of have a lot of fun with them. Looking back on this now, I did paint some like brown spots and highlighting the warts and the bumps on this figure, but I kind of wish that I would have went more with putting, like actually painting like skin dots on him or patches. I've seen other people doing that in some recent videos, and it's something that I need to work on and really try to do, is just putting, like leopard spots or something like that on skin. I think it adds a lot to the miniature, and it's really cool looking. And I notice on the box art too, he kind of has like a bloody handprint tattoo, or maybe a tribal marking on his belly. Maybe from the little frog guys mark him, as their warrior. And I think that I should have tried that. That would have been cool to do, but I didn't really notice it until afterwards, and I was kind of looking at this once I was done. But I want to try more painting tattoos on miniatures. That's something that I've only done a couple of times, and I'm certainly no expert on it, so I would actually have to watch some tutorials myself. But I think that it would just be kind of painting it a little lighter than what you normally would, and then doing a skin glaze over it to show that it was, like kind of underneath the skin and not painted right on top. But, maybe that's something I will challenge myself with, painting a miniature and trying to add tattoos to it. I think that'd be kind of fun, and I could just do a whole video on that, I'm sure. Now, the only other thing that I did with the skin was I did put a very light dry brush of this skeleton bone over top of it. The skin was just, it seemed like it was missing something to me, and this dry brush really seemed to help it a lot. It just kind of tied everything together just a little bit more, especially after painting the browns, the warts and stuff on them and the veins. I was really happy that I did it, and on camera it looks heavier than what it actually is. It was very light, and it was just something to just kind of hit the highlights on these guys. And dry brushing is kind of something that I got away from. I used to almost just, after painting all of my miniatures, I would almost always do just a dry brush of white over all of them. And it's something that I kind of really pulled away from. It would give it too much of a grainy look sometimes. And so I've learned to really use it sparingly, or just very, very lightly, just to pick out the very tips of the details on the miniature. And as we come to an end with these guys, I'm just doing some final little details on them, and I'm going to do the basing off camera. And here we go, they are all finished. I'm really happy with them, I like them a lot. I think that they look really cool. I kind of maybe went a little overboard with putting red around the lips. I was trying something different with that, and I'm not certain that I love it, but at the same time, it kind of gives them a little bit of character. It gives them a little bit of difference in their mouth. As I said, with the big guy, I loved him, except for the mouth sculpt. I thought that it was kind of goofy looking, but, you know, hey, it's fine. Now, as far as using the different colors for Slapchop, I think that it worked out really well, and I think that this is something that I'm going to use more of in the future instead of just the black, gray, and white. And that's why I love trying out these new techniques, and I love it when you guys suggest different things for me to try, because you just never know what you're going to get in the end, and what's going to really broaden your horizons. Make you a better painter. I'm happy to hear any other ideas that you all might have, and I want to thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed watching me paint a little bit and listening to me ramble on. So with that, I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.